Look at God.
Was that
Look
that's
at
what
him,
it was?
okay?
Was that it? What it was the whole time?
I mean, I'm all about persistence. I'm very driven. So
Right.
I
That's
would
what
have
I
been
was
doing what
turning the phone off, turning it back on, going in and out.
I was irritated when it made me update. I said, you want me to update now?
The phones, technology will do it every time. Let me see if it's
Oh, say host love. Okay. You good. You better leave it alone. You better you know how we what your mama used to say? Set your down.
right.
Okay. I wouldn't even go get a snack. Mm. I love meeting new friends. Oh no, so that's something coming through on my TikTok.
You got it. You on TikTok too?
No. I mean I could see, messages coming through.
Okay. Um, it's gonna be recorded, so
Okay.
even
Oh, so you'll share a link so I can run it on my platforms.
oh, all right. So you want to get started?
What I time I tell you is here in Ghana.
My apologies. My apologies. Um, so I know who you are, but
Okay.
the people that's coming in live, right, right. You want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'd love to. First of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm always honored to get an invite. You said, would you come on I'd like to interview you one day. I was like, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm Dr. Wanda. I'm actually Dr. Wanda Evans Brewer. I dropped the Evans Brewer because they didn't have nothing to do with the doctor. Okay. So I give all credit to Wanda for that PhD. I'm a scholar practitioner, meaning that yeah, I'm a professor and I'm a academic, but I really believe in sort of Kwame Ture's perspective. You take all that good knowledge and wisdom and you meal among the people. Okay. And so, I'm a grassroots activist, which is directly from, our blackness, community service, supporting black clubs, soup kitchens, anything that moves, keeps black people progressive. What is it? I'm a 35-year educator. So, and I'm one of the few professors that has taught every level. So I taught preschool, grammar school, high school, college, English as a second language, Spanish for 8 years, life skills. I ran my own not for profit in the US, um, centered around intimate partner abuse in the high schools. Longtime mentor to both male and females because we realized that with intimate partner abuse, the girls were still going to date those boys because they were
Right.
in the community, and the laws are different for adolescents. For intimate partner abuse is different from domestic violence because you're not living there and you still don't have your autonomy. So what they tell you, what parents do, all of that housing arrangements is very different when it's an adolescent being beat up by the significant than when it's an adult. So I did a lot of work around that. And and then a lot of fighting. I mean, I ended up coming to Africa because I became a PhD on welfare
Okay.
because corporate America pretty much has its hands in all of these campuses, where they invest greater money into infrastructure, sports and and recreation, the dean and the provost, and they stopped paying professors and making it where um, it's almost impossible to get tenure. You're contract workers. So you work, you get a course or two, and you get a lump sum, and then you're not sure if you're going to be called back because yeah, you're not sure if you're a contract worker. They flip toss you in and out. And so I was one of the few professors in Chicago that would tell the truth about it because people felt like, oh, you so smart. Why don't you figure your way out of this? And it's like, oh no, I don't feel ashamed of this at all. Who needs to be ashamed is the establishment that has made a decision to exploit its professionals. And so I was, hooping and hollering, and I was in the Tribune and the Sun-Times and Labor Talk Radio because I come out of Detroit. So
Okay.
Detroit is labor. That's labor, okay? And I was
313.
a
What
little,
up, though?
huh?
313. What up, though? You
Right.
know I'm in Detroit, so
You know where I grew up? I grew up on Linwood and Davison.
okay.
I went to Longfellow Middle School. I don't even know if it's still there, but that's like the only place I would ever want to return to. And but I went to Cody High instead of Central High, which would have been the feeding high school. But no, I'm a Detroit girl in the world. I'm a girl.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
ended up moving to Chicago when I went to college, and I just started a life there and stayed there. Yeah.
Got you.
So I am a true educator. I've taught a little bit of everything. Mhm.
What's that? And I see you still teaching in Ghana now.
Well, yeah, in Ghana. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not be a teacher. I
Mm,
wanted to be a dancer and a writer. Okay, so the teaching is a calling. It's an assignment, and so I don't really have a choice about that. And I was that chick. That was a bookworm. I was always at Parkman Branch Library, down the street from our house. I was, the quote unquote know it all, and you know, the boys liked me, but they was just like, yeah, it's cool. You want to talk about, Harriet Tubman and all that, but I'm trying to feel your chest. they was they wasn't really feeling me on that. So when you are a intellectual, when you're a young person and you're bright, and if it's anything to do with like social activism or politics, or you're interested, like I'm trying to figure out what does Zora Neale do with herself because she was an archaeologist. What do you do with yourself? Well, you kind of just are weird for a while, and that's how it is. But
so,
Chicago, I found a sort of a niche for myself.
and at what age did you have an or the continent come into play?
The continent came into play after I transitioned out of teaching high school. I taught over at a school called Orr High School in Chicago, one of the toughest, schools supposedly. It really isn't. It is and it isn't. Okay. At the end of the day, with all the problems, drugs and pregnancy and all this stuff, you really teaching children. You're teaching children who, you know, um, parents have fallen short, community has fallen short, but it's still a kid in front of you. And when you figure that out, then you adjust yourself. But yeah, I taught there many years, and they were constantly restructuring that school. So I taught there, 11 years, and they restructured it four times in 11 years. They brought four different models in. The mayor kept experimenting with that school. And so I got to a time I said, we got to that last restructuring where they brought in this model called transformation, and they were recruiting people from even other states, and everything is white. The education is made up of about 70, 75%, even probably higher now, white women. And they were bringing them in, into the school, and what they do is, a lot of petty, honey, calm down, young man. Oh, sweetie, it's gonna be okay. And it's like, no, we don't relate to, black males like that. We don't talk to them like that, and it's just a lot of sort of, and then it's the flip side, which is when you can't control them, then it's a lot of, writing them up and sending them out the classroom and involving the state. And so that cycle starts. And but that's what they wanted. They didn't want veteran teachers. And I was a young vet because it was people up in there that had been, like hardcore, been there a long time. Okay. And it just became clear to me. I'm like, no, they don't want us teaching our children. They're making it almost impossible. So each year I was coming back to work wondering if I had a job. And it's because, we were striking or they were restructuring. And it just got to a time with my last set of mentees, I said, when you graduate, Doc, then I wasn't Doc. I said, I'm graduating out of here with you too. And I did just that. I closed out with that set of freshmen that came in that I had, fought and struggled and cried with and all that. I said, y'all leave, I'm leaving. And I left. I went to higher education, but I got out of the frying pan into the fire.
Right.
So I had about 3, maybe 4 good years teaching at the collegiate level. I was teaching for the University of Phoenix, which I don't have a lot of respect for, but it was a nice entry because I was trying to transition out of high school without losing income. So that's online, okay? And so it's kind of cookie cutter. They really don't need a professor. They just need somebody to, shoot out the curriculum as they've structured it. But yeah, the campuses are everywhere. The opportunities are there, and the pay is low. It's not a great pay. But if you're trying to break into higher education, it's not a bad start, I would say. Okay. Then the DeVry University picked me up out at Addison, and that was a little bit more challenging, okay, because Revive been around a long time. It has stuff that deals with education. Then also it had a business school, and then it had with nurse, but you also dealing with very sterile. Like, to be black in these environments,
Right.
it's not that you can't get the job, you can, but we always have to be, extra good, extra better. But yeah, I was there. And then I got a degree. I came out, I got like a degree in psychology from Concordia University, which was right there at it's like 2 or 3, maybe a mile or so from my house. And then I applied to work for them. And so I was working, and this is what most of the college professors are doing. You end up working for more than one school to make ends meet. You're not just, unless you're tenured, you're really not working in one place. And that can be straining. Okay. So I was working at the three and balancing it okay because I transitioned out. And then it got to be one. It got to be two, then it got to be one, and then it got to be none because they pick you up and they put you down as they please. And when COVID came in, that was the opportunity for many jobs. It wasn't just standard jobs for them to downsize people out. To all of a sudden they couldn't find work. Then they came up with all these extra rules. You got to do this, you got to do that, and. And so yeah, I was already in Africa by then because I was teaching Concordia online. And then I made a decision. I said, "Oh, is that what y'all on? Y'all don't know me. You don't know me. No."
So,
So I
and was
decided to stay. Hmm.
okay. Now that you were already in Africa, doing online or
Yeah, I listen. Now I can tell the truth. What I did was I brought it online. I went to my class. It was a Saturday class. I met for 4 hours because I did grad students. So I went in to the grad students. These are grown folks. Grads are grown people with
right, right,
schedules and children and problems and issues. So I said, look, this is what we gonna do. I'm getting ready to go to Ghana. At that time, I said I'm going and I'm getting married, and I'm gonna be back in 2 weeks, and we gonna have this class, but it's gonna be so. I had already hoisted them online, be, you
mm.
know, without the university knowing, and
Oh
then I
wow.
came back, and so yeah, cause I got a little rebel in me,
Right, right, right.
just a little
And they,
bit. And listen,
they
this
didn't
was right
mind
up their
class
alley.
they didn't have to go to.
And this was up their alley because adults work with you because you got to work with them. They're gonna tell you that their kid's sick. They're gonna tell you that their car broke down. They're gonna tell you that the boss making them stay late. So we wouldn't finna play that game. It's like, come on now, we all grown. Let's work with each other. So I still taught the course. I had already hoisted it, but then when I came back the second time, COVID struck, and
Okay.
so everything went online, including the church.
Yeah.
Right?
It was
So yeah.
different.
So
Again.
that worked in my favor. So I said, "Oh, we online. Let me dip on back to Ghana again." And it worked fine until they phased it out. They said, "No, we're going to cut out this and cut out that." And so they downsized me out. I'm actually still technically not even out. They just don't offer me classes.
Mm. And so I know when you what made you choose Ghana?
I didn't. Where my assets are, I'm not lying, honey. What happened was me and my daughter's Africa experience started with South Africa. And that happened because I was doing all that fighting about academics, the treatment of professionals, these educators, and being a PhD on welfare. And then I got picked up by a small movie group, movie makers,
Okay.
Brave New Films, and they asked to do a mini doc. They asked, could they come to Chicago, interview me, follow me around? I said, yeah. Okay. And so that mini doc went out. That's what the title of Professors in Poverty. And
Okay.
so all these different people, it went on Upworthy, it went on World Star, it went viral in these spaces, and they began to reach out to me. And so all types of people, but the three that stood out was a Nigerian that was living in Canada, a Liberian. He's from a long from a stylist, a haircutter for the stars and community, and then a Ghanaian. It was a Ghanaian who's and he said no. All of them said coach me in different ways, but what the Ghanaian said was, if you were any place else on the world, okay, they would scoop you up. They would love you. They'd be proud of you. And Africa needs you. So I don't know if the the Red Sea split or there was comet that fled, but it all of a sudden I said I wouldn't even know how to do that. I don't even know, because I've always been Afrocentric. I've always been comfortable in my own blackness, okay?
Mhm.
But I didn't have no interest in Africa. I wasn't finna go over there. I didn't
Right.
it was a bucket list thing. It's like, okay, well, if I get to about, 75 and ain't got shit to do, I'll go over there and check them out. But it was never, and I wasn't mad at Africa. I just
Right.
it was,
Well,
and
no,
then
it
he
wasn't.
said that, no. And so it opened up. And so I said, I wouldn't even know where to start. So I was already fighting with the university. Because what they was doing was for every class you taught, they would give you a class. Well, I have a PhD. A PhD is a terminal degree. Most people don't want another class. If they want it, they want it. There are people that have multiple PhDs. I ain't one of them. I'm not interested. Okay.
Right.
So I went into them. I said, hey, look, can you do, because they had like a deacon and deaconess degree at Concordia. So I said, can you give me a quid pro quo? I want you, because they wanted me to shut up too. I was talking and talking and drawing attention. They want me to shut up. Okay, listen, I can shut up. Could you give me a quid pro quo? Could you let me be let a professor from school that you at, because they was in South Africa, could they come? Could we switch out? They said no. I said, okay, they had a choir that traveled into Africa. I said, can I be a chaperone? No. I said, okay, now I'm gonna start running my damn mouth again because y'all not working with me. So they said, and I said, okay, you allow me, can you sponsor me to go to one of the schools? They said, this is what we can do. We can, we have two places we're at. We're in South Africa, we're in Uganda. We can get you housing and we'll pay for your food, but we won't pay for your ticket. And they was confident I wouldn't come up on that ticket money because they know they wouldn't give me enough classes. So I was scared of Uganda because I still remembered the images that came across TV with Idi Amin when I was in like third or fourth grade. So I had an opinion of Uganda based off of media from childhood. But South
Okay.
Africa was familiar to me, the movie Serafina, Nelson Mandela, Bishop Desmond Tutu, Paul Simon going and doing the album, with that amazing set of singers. I can't think of their names now. There was a poet that traveled out there, Dennis Brutus, that came to Wayne State University and performed. Like I had enough reference that I said, okay, I knew of Winnie Mandela, these type of things, Stephen Binko. I said, okay, let's do South Africa. That's how I end up in South Africa. And they did give me that quid pro quo. And I did go, and it was a really, 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 really good experience. I spent months living amongst the Zulu. And that was my first time doing a GoFundMe. My son broke it down to me. He said, "Look, you can't do a GoFundMe every week, Ma. That's not how it works. So go in for the kill. Whatever you want to ask for, if it's 5,000, 10,000, whatever you asking for, ask for it. Because after that, the next year, they don't want to see you. They don't want to see your name talking about no GoFundMe." And he's right. And I see people exploit it now, but in general, and you also see where they don't have nothing on their GoFundMe too. But yeah, I had to GoFundMe. I did I drove Uber and Lyft. I did a little bit of like babysitting. I did whatever. I hustled. I sold on eBay. I raised that money and I got us over there to
Mm,
teach, to counsel, to and I did a lot of professional development. They liked me enough to send me out into a couple of other areas to train their teacher on some of our techniques and ways in the US, because I was their first academic. What they normally get is little white girls and they cute little shorts and t-shirts and volunteers. They get volunteers, you understand? But they was like, oh my God, first of all, they first black. And then I had the audacity to be an academic. They didn't know what to do. But one thing you'll learn with Africa is an educator is valued. They love their educators. They love education, and so the whole village will beat you. Like how we fight teachers and stuff like that. The whole village will beat you up. Where you gonna go with if you hit a talk? You can't even talk smart to them.
right.
Hmm.
So, what was that first experience like? Uh, Once you were on the ground, boots on the ground, meeting new people, introduced to new cultures. What was it? Was it a culture shock? What was it like?
Not for me because I am a proud black. So I believe we're a tribe. You understand? So I go every place. I like that melanation now. You can get a lot out of me when you melanated, and that's who I'm committed to serve. Okay, although I'll help anybody. I am overall a humanitarian, but because they were trying to make me feel bad about my PhD, all my education and stuff, I said, if I have to give it away, I want to give it to those who need it the most. And
Mhm.
any place that melanated man is, any place that black man is, he is mistreated, he is disenfranchised. He is brutalized. His women are raped. He is forced to choose between his hide and his soul. The children are often unfamiliar with their fathers because they fathers have to, take jobs and do all this and that. Their moms are stressed. I said, I'm going to work with my own. So I don't have a beef with nobody else. You understand? I'm a teacher. I'll teach anybody. But in terms of my choice with coming to the continent, it was very specific and strategic. If I got to give all this away, I got to give it to who needs it the most, and it just happens to be melanated people, and it happens to be the continent.
Okay, and at that time when you came to Africa, you were in what country now?
I started with South Africa. Then the Ugandans seen what we did in South Africa, what that was. Just a little bit of charity I did in South Africa because I primarily taught there, but I don't go any place empty-handed. So I had taken the community. I had brought a bunch of book bags filled with um, school supplies, And I just did it last two things I took. Baby, a whole bunch of baby
Okay.
clothes, baby shoes, baby everything, and book bags because we have a surplus of them. Now we're giving them book bags out. We almost have to pay people to take the book bags. End of the
Right.
school year, the kids have left their book bags in the lockers. All the communities do it. You know what I'm saying? We have Walgreens, CVS, all this stuff. We can get this stuff. It's at our fingertips. And so we
Right.
kind of sometimes overdoing it, and
Mhm.
people come and take the bag, don't even need the bag. But
Right.
so
Yeah.
there were people that had surplus and they gave it to me. And I was happy to pack my suitcases with it. And so that was the first philanthropy there. And it was huge for them. It was huge for them. So um just people seeing the images. I've always used Facebook as my um business card, as my online portfolio, as my press release. Okay, and it's a way to assemble people in all the different spaces. They can come together. So if you got a friend that's in France, if you got one that's in Ireland, wherever they at, you can all come together on Facebook. No
Right.
problem,
True.
right? So it's easier now. And then we had more limitations. All these other social media spaces didn't exist. They have evolved over time. Um, but no, then it was Uganda. I spent 90 days in Uganda, and that was a whole different other type of teaching and learning because then I structured a learning for myself, which was that space had a special needs school,
Mhm.
and these are physically well, it was cognitively delayed, but it also was people with physical disabilities. And Africa in general has has a backward attitude toward that group. They
Okay.
see them as curses. They see them as throwaways. They often tie them up in homes, um, abandon them. Sometimes they get a little bit of street justice. Because some of the behaviors look like witchcraft to them. It looks like I'm saying it looks like it's paranoid. They don't like it. They don't
Right.
understand it, so they don't like it. So it can be something as simple as, me and your wife get into an argument while she pregnant. You know,
Mhm.
and I call her a bunch of names and say a bunch of stuff that, yeah, and that baby you got in your belly, blah blah blah. And if something happens with it, that baby ain't right when it's born. Who you think they think caused it?
Right.
Me.
And then
Okay.
that's considered witchcraft.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's that. So, but in terms of my education experience and my teaching experience, that's my least favorite population. And so I was very honest with them. They wanted me to come and serve, and I said, "Listen, I can come and serve, no problem, and I'm happy to bring resource and all that. But let me tell you the truth now. That drooling, I make my stomach sick. Some of them, the disabilities make me cry. You understand? You got this leg twisted like this, and then the eyeball is overhead, and I mean because what happens in vitro gets real. You understand?
Right.
And you have to be prepared. You have to be honest with yourself. Now, don't go lying to people and making out like you can. I'm not. I can't. So I said, okay. And then that boo booing, like just I said because they asked me to be an ambassador. I said I can be an ambassador, but I cannot be a teacher. I can bring
Right.
resource. I can advocate. I don't want them hit. I don't want them hurt. But that's my limitation. And so if you could take me on those terms, they said we'll take you. And so I did a lot for the school. I mean, I put the school on the map. I got really good resources and connections for them. But I ended up leaving the school. I ended up stopping being the ambassador because the 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 headship there wasn't paying those teachers regularly. And you'll run
Oh,
into that in Africa too, where you have people that have work jobs where they don't get paid for 2 and 3 months. And I just told you I came out of Detroit. Detroit is labor. We got, we don't play that. I was
yeah.
one of the teenagers that was at the picket lines when the auto workers would go on strike. I was a part of a little leftist organization. We would go and the picket line, picket lines mean don't cross. I was when you
Right.
used to get beat up, when they used to beat
Yeah.
your tail for crossing that picket line. Okay, so
Oh, the union,
I have a
union plus
whole
unit. I know you. I know what you're talking about.
yes, yeah. So if you come from labor and then you go someplace, and this is organized labor, right? The auto plat is organized labor. My mother's out of
Right.
Gary, Indiana. That's still okay. I don't do. You ain't paid for 2 months. You ain't paid for 3 months. I don't understand that. So I ended up paying them because it was baby money ultimately, but it wasn't baby money for me because I don't have money coming there serving you, right? And I paid, I got their salaries up, and I told them, I said, no, I'm wheels up. I'm deuces. I don't like this. I
Right.
cannot do this. They have to, the job, first of all, they were great educators. Their patience was long, and they were good to those kids because these were kids. Someone like one little boy, he was the cutest little thing. He'd be looking at you, little cutie, blind as a bat. They had tied him up in that house so long that when he saw sunlight, he wasn't used to light. His eyes, they hadn't developed. Like it was things that they were managing that was so amazing, which is why I fought to pay them. But I also said I can't do that. That's not my That's not my. So he couldn't convince me to stay. And then, but while I was doing that, the Tanzanians, I ran into the Tanzanians and said, "Hey, Doc, would you come to us?" And I said, "Listen, I can come to you, but I don't have no money.
Right.
But if you can see about me, but I could get the resource to them. But if I come, because they both are East Africa, if I come, you have to take care of me. You have
Okay.
to."
Well, let me ask you this:
Hmm.
where did you learn the skill of gathering and pulling people together and being able to get the resources or reaching out? That's not something that everybody has, because I see a lot of people that want to do things for certain causes,
You
but
so
it takes
you so sweet.
it
You
takes a
admit it's
certain
a skill.
huh? That
You
that's
so
that's
sweet. You admit it's a skill.
where did you already have this skill, or were you already using it while you were in America or Chicago, or did it start once you got on the continent?
Some people just good people. They've been loaning people lunch money when they was kids. They broke off a piece of their Twinkie and let you have. Walked with you in the dark. I just have a long history of being a good friend. Like
Mhm.
being. I don't like bullies. And I
Right.
don't like I stick up for the underdog. All that comes from my mother's training. So but I never went for bad. I never was tough. I am a loner, and I'm the worst type of loner too because I'm a social introvert. So I come out and
Mhm.
socialize, and then people start thinking, "Oh, she's social." Not really. I do this for a minute, then I got to go back up in there and recharge.
Right.
All of this is the result of me planting a lot of seeds and then being able to reap a harvest. That's really it. I've been good to people. I have a long history of, and I'm not particularly selective. Like some people only good to certain types of people because they want something out of it. Right?
Mhm.
Well, I've been good to people that I'm connected to. I'm good to strangers. You see all these people over here, I have to remind them all the time. I don't know y'all. I don't have no commitment to no tribe.
Right.
You
Right.
understand? You don't, okay, you Ashanti, you Guy, you Airway. I don't care.
That ain't
I
gonna move you
only
nowhere.
It doesn't. And listen, and I don't want to be you. I don't you ain't gotta give me your little outfit. You ain't gotta give me your name. You don't have to do none of that. My mama named me. Okay. I'm good. What I am is a servant leader because the
Mhm.
father made me one. And so I
Amen.
just follow what he tells me to do because I have to remind them sometimes, like, yeah, I have good experiences with you all, but you ain't my favorite people. Do you understand? There's some people that like, we cornbread and neck bones and we talking smack and we cracking jokes about, you understand? Like, that's my
You
favorite
you
people,
have to
but yeah, because and if I had to advise people, stop coming over here acting. Stop coming. You're not.
mhm.
We are our own tribe. We were never meant to be uh copycat Africans. A sister over here used that term, and I borrow it from her with pride. We're not copycat Africans. We African by descent. We're just not
Mhm.
continental Africans. We were not born on the continent. Okay. And listen, they hold that against us. You're not born on the continent. You don't speak no authentic continental language. You don't you had no rights of passage. Show didn't. Show lane. Cause you sold us and they stole us. That's the
Right.
and I'm not finna apologize for a crime I didn't commit. I'm not apologizing for that. I don't. I don't speak none of it. No. So no, I just stay the skill is staying yourself and staying true to whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. And that's why. So when I ask you for shoes, if I say, oh, these little boys need some shoes, the little soccer team here, I like them. Everybody know if they give me them shoes, they going to them little boys.
Yeah.
If whatever I ask for, everybody know I don't steal. I don't pick off donations. Girl, we gonna take these in the back. Shit, these Jordans, we keeping these. It don't bother me. It doesn't. It doesn't bother. I do hold and divvy out appropriately. So I don't get no barrel
Mm.
of nothing and just give it out. You understand? I hold based off of need, based off of behavior. Because some people, you give them something, they tear it up. We don't do that in the U.S. So why are you doing something that when you see how responsible people are, you see their character. Are these people, coveting things? Are these people like, it makes it, where is there greater need over here? This should you get what I'm saying? So no,
Exactly.
it's all citizenship stuff. I never had a problem with citizenship. If I'm your friend, I'm your friend. If I ain't your friend, I ain't your friend. And that has carried me a long way. So the resources I get is because behind the scenes, I done helped a lot of people. I done sat up and listened to some crap and got myself, you understand? I done let people be in
Mhm.
my house. I done picked them up and I done dropped them off. I've done all that. The only thing I would never do, and I used to tell my students that, and I told my children, I'm not coming to jail. Everything I have to give you is on this side. So if you go up in there, you better have somebody that you can call. It won't be me. I've had it
Right.
tested. When that number come in, this is Cook County. Click. Why did you keep hanging up? What did I tell you? I
Right.
don't have nothing to offer you on that side. I've had people ask me, would I be willing to go in and even do jail ministry? No. My gifts are for this side. This side. I am into life. Okay. I came here to give you light and life, to bring to energize. Let's lift this up. All that you over there, if it's not civil rights, you will not hear from me. It better be civil
Uh,
rights.
and then
Mhm.
if you go into that, that's a whole nother ball game. Um, so from entering in Tanzania, how was that experience?
Oh, Tanzania is where my assets are. Tanzania is, I lay over here in Ghana and dream of Tanzania.
Mm.
The Tanzanians are first of all, East Africans are a more hospitable group. They're way more hospitable. Now listen, let's just be honest. Nobody want us. I don't care how many
Mm.
times they call us back. It's a market employee, this, that, the other. They don't, they really don't want us. Not in that way. Okay.
And
Because
tell me why you. Mhm.
we're always wondering what did we look like? Where did we live? What was our language? What was we farming? They're not wondering, they know. The book of Chronicles in the Bible, they can do it. This one begot this one. This one they know their whole genealogy. They know which tribe attacked what tribe, who moved what. They know. So, but some African groups are warmer, way more receptive, far more tribal than others. So Kwame Nkrumah was the liberating president for Ghana, right? But the
Okay.
liberating president for Tanzania was Julius Nyerere. Okay, that all of this was around the same time. The difference between the two presidents, and listen, and I adore Kwame Nkrumah. Period. Okay, doctor, to get it correct. But Nyerere, when he liberated his people, he taught them nation first, tribe second. Ghana is tribe first, nation second. So when you go to Tanzania, they more talking. They all Tanzanians. They don't really break down. They don't really act like that with each other. Where you they'll be mixed. You won't even know what tribe they in because they just brethren. Do you understand?
Right.
And so at some point, and that's kind of true for Uganda too. At some point, you kind of get accepted in as just. Uh, I won't. They just accept you in as family, as a type of family, depending on people. So they just were warm and they loved me first. So I did a lot for them. I loved on them. Loved me so much. I asked them. I said, "Listen, how much for my birthday? I was having a coming of age. I said, how much for some land?" And they said, "Well, doctor, that's going through the government, and then there's family, and you're family." I said, "So what that mean?" That mean we're gonna negotiate it for you. We're gonna take care of that for you, and so at that time, again, I didn't have much money, and I'm gonna tell this truth. I never tell this publicly, but I'll tell it now. So I sold my link because they told me that they could get me just under 2 acres for $450 US, and I
When you
ain't
say your
have it.
link, when you say your
I sold
link,
my EBT, my EBT. I sold it
okay, okay,
that month to come up with the money. Okay.
mm, okay.
I'm yeah,
Do what you got.
I'm a
Do
hundred.
what you got
I ain't
to
on
do.
it no more. I ain't on it no more, so it really don't matter now. I can tell it.
Right, right,
Yeah, I
right.
sold my link and I sent them that young money and I got my land. And so everything else was at different times me sending money for building. But but they took good care of me. But I had served them heavily. So much so that they finally said, and I had never met none of them in person, and they said, "Doctor, don't send anything else. We want to meet the person that would care about us this much." And that's when I said, "Listen, I ain't got no
Wait,
money."
wait, 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 wait. So at the time that you were taking care of business, you weren't in Tanzania.
I hadn't even been, and I was serving
Where,
them.
okay, and where were you at this time?
Chicago, Maywood, looking
So,
silly,
so,
work
so,
working and not working.
so from all the way from Chicago,
Mm,
you were putting in work on the continent.
yes, that I was putting in work. I think about it
And
now, and I'm just like, because it's the same difference if I was okay, Paul, if you go to France and you my best friend, and you say, "Man,
mm,
I'm hurting over here." I said, "Well, I can get this and that for you," and I just go every week, every month, and ship you something.
right,
It would no different. Do you understand?
I get what you're
I
saying.
just had to hustle. I had to figure out how I was going to ship it. So I built them into my budget.
Okay, gotcha.
I shipped them books. I shipped them equipment. I said, listen, I ain't got no money. I didn't send no money. But I sent them things they never saw in their life because I've been a long time educator, so I made a call out to educators. Hey, well, you got that surplus. You know they got that junk you're gonna put in the. You're gonna throw that stuff in the dumpster. All that stuff right now in your house. Right now, you got stuff
Yeah,
that you ain't using. You got extra shoes, extra shirts.
right.
You got some old equipment. You understand that you like it ain't nothing wrong with it. You ain't using it, but for them, it's an upgrade. So I asked for that stuff. All I had to do was worry about shipping it, and I would figure out different ways through a hustle, to come up with it. So that's how
So
they
how?
why they worked. They gave me a good deal on land.
So the how can I say this? Your discernment was that you felt everything because they always tell you don't send no money to buy no land, don't do this, don't do that. But at the
Listen,
time,
I was a baby. I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't
okay,
know nothing about that. This
you had
was
you had no worries,
I didn't have worries because I didn't know to worry.
right?
Okay, I learned later on. But listen, East now all of it is muddy. Now all of it's muddy. In terms of money. I don't
Mm,
advise it, but I wouldn't count it out.
Yeah.
you need great discernment because some see there's begging and then there's a need. There's
Yeah.
begging now. Can't nobody out beg West Africans. They beg more often, and I say that with the greatest respect, and I say it with the receipts to prove it. They beg a lot,
Mhm.
okay, and a lot of is what Judge Mathis talked about, dry begging.
Mhm.
Paul, yeah, Gia, she ain't feeling good, and I ain't, she been down for a few days. You're just like, well, damn, why, Doc, I haven't talked to you. You seen little Gia $20. How much is it for you to go to? You get the game. It's that one. There's always a crisis. There's always a need. So, you make your call on that. Me, I'm not into that anymore unless it is a situation of someone who never asked for anything and then something comes up.
So how long were you in the States before you went to Tanzania? Or was that the
Well,
first place you?
no. Here's Doc. I went back and forth on the continent 8 times over 5 years before I settled. Because what people are doing now, and it's part of the reason they're getting in trouble, is that they're coming, oh, I had a great time. I felt like I was at home. I met my family. I feel so accepted. I felt like I was. You're
Uh,
laughing, so you make it.
uh, hey, I'm gonna
the
be at 100. I've been to Tanzania, right?
okay.
And me and the wife went, and it was a lot of things that were offsetting, a lot of things that we weren't used to or ready for.
Yeah.
From the airport all the way. Did I enjoy myself? Yes, but
hmm
it was like we was there trying to figure out who they were staring at. Was they staring at me
You
because I'm fat? Was they staring at her because she light skinned and straight hair? We couldn't figure it out.
both of y'all have hold value. Fat man is value. That means he eats. He's you
Oh, I
you
mean
are you are
that
you are royal, honey. And a light
that
skinned
used to
woman
be.
as much bleaching as they do, and they like that too.
Hey, it used to be that way in the States. They used to call it a baller belly, but it's it's just out of shape now. So no, I understand
Well,
because when I went to Ghana, um, it was a different feeling. And I just felt like you say, I went through the whole spiel, but I know until you actually live there or spend maybe what you say, a month or more and really get the feel, you don't know.
it ain't no daggone mine. It's it's
What it
just like it's just like you and your wife.
mm,
That honeymoon has to leave.
yeah, that's true.
Okay? And then you
That's
like,
true.
damn, she done took off that wig again. And put them little braids in until she get her hair
Right.
done.
She
Okay?
done put that nightcap on.
Put that nightcap on, I can't stand.
Yeah.
But you still gotta love her. Yeah, you
Right.
have to. It's that you have to have your first injury. You have to have your first bruising. You have to. They will break your heart. You have to have your heart broken and know that you can survive it. Um, and everybody, listen. Nobody escapes it. It's just some people tell the truth and others leave with their tail behind. You understand? I'm not going back to or they bash the country. Ghana's da, 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 da. Okay, but you gotta have it. When your mama
Okay.
sent you to
Okay.
school, she
Just
sent
give
you to
me
school knowing somebody was gonna fight you one day, right?
right. Yeah, okay, give
Okay.
me give me like five of some of the bruises or some of the things that you've seen people uh it happen to people and they either don't bounce back from it or it's just something that affects them because I know when you get there your heart if you're a giving person to do something. So one day I saw some little boys. They had a cutters, the machetes, the cutters,
Mhm.
and they wanted some work. I said, "Well, Mr. Lynn needs some stuff cut down over there. Y'all going to cut that down and I pay y'all.
Okay.
For the next 3 days, more and more little boys came by asking for work. And it was like
That's
almost like I was being
that's how you
harassed.
saw it. That's how
Yeah,
you saw
yeah.
it. You saw it as asking for work.
Right,
They saw it as survival. There's an abroni over there that got some money and he passing it out.
right.
Okay. Yeah.
They was coming.
So oh no, they listen, if I give out a dial, they call them chobies. If I give out a chobie, my senior sister didn't get one. My little brother didn't get one. My junior brother didn't get one. If I from one dial, that gate would be there'd be a line of them because you're talking about poverty on steroids.
Mm,
You're talking about poverty on steroids. You're talking about 70% of the country still uses open defecation. They shit and piss in the bush. You're talking about a beautiful, beautiful building next to, like, you can have come here and build, and your house is next to some bullshit. It's next to a shanty. It's next to somebody living in a kiosk. So you're talking about some children who are raising themselves. Okay, they get up and they're raising themselves because there's a fair share of young people who are unschooled. They're unschooled. Some of them are orphaned, some of them are double orphaned. All right. So no, it's not a shock to me that two came with the machete and then there was a team of them. But the
right.
reality is you're not a corporation. You're not you know, Paul's job work facility. You understand? You're not a business where you're saying, you know how they used to run our summer youth programs? This isn't Paul's summer youth program where you have
Everything Kelly
grants and money in order to,
service.
yeah. And so the thing about them is like when you start that, they expect you to maintain it because they come in those numbers. And oftentimes they get mad at you when you can't. Like they get disappointed with you when you can't maintain it. Now you didn't do nothing. They did the car wash, at some point, and we saw them as little businessmen and we wanted to, support that. Okay. But I just want you to understand that there's a parasitic, greedy energy in the country that often
Okay.
erodes their moral fiber. Do you understand? That you have to make up your mind what you want to involve yourself with in terms of divvying out your money and what you won't divvy it out for because you walk yourself into sort of like you could just get yourself between a rock and a hard place being too kind. You need boundaries with them. You need boundaries.
Right. And I noticed,
Even
I
in
noticed too.
even in philanthropy, you need them.
Right, I noticed too. Like that's a two-way street too, because you have a person over here that needs to eat. They trying to take care of their family. Like you say, 95% are in poverty. Then you have some, not just Americans, but repats or other people come in, and they may, let's say, take one of the men.
Mm.
But I've seen it where they take them in, but they use them to their advantage.
Well,
Well,
let's
I
get
need you.
something straight. We're all using each other. I want
Okay.
to deal with this term using, okay? Because even with my estranged husband who tried to, he thought I was going to take him back to the U.S. He's in the U.K. now because I wasn't taking him to the U.S. I'm a Pan Africanist.
Mhm.
Pan Africanists don't take you back.
Right.
Where we taking you? Where was
Right.
Marcus Garvey was sending us over here? We're not taking you back, okay? But we got to a place where and I used you. I said, you used me. I used you. I had to know how to live in the country. I had to understand. I said, see, I came 8 steps down and brought you up three. And we lived. And I learned. I know how to, I know how to get my water, get my ECG. I know who I know who the I know the hierarchy. the paramount chief, the smaller chief, the king, the council of elders, the queen mother. You understand? I know I have
Right.
a police officer in my phone. I have a doctor in my phone. I have the insurance man in my phone. These are all people I can call right now and talk to. I said, Punk, I learned how to live because you was living so low. I had to come down so low that I just watched to see how you do it. I can catch it. I
Mhm.
can go right out there right now and put my finger up one, and the car will stop to take me to community one. Two, the car is going to stop to take me to community two. I know how to
Mhm.
get down. You understand? I know how to live in the country. I know how to CDs per seat. When they pick you up for the cab, I know the difference between the Uber and the cab. Okay. So if I want to save my money, I can cash the car. I know how to use the Trotro. I know how to use VIP. You know, when I want to do the go to Kamasi or go for the longer ride, I said, Punk, I used you. I had a plan for myself. And my
Right.
plan was to because I'm not digmatized. I didn't come over here for that. We
Right.
happened to get married, and I'm a woman, you a whole man, and we hooked up. Okay. That's the birds and the bees. That's how God designed it. But in terms of what type of woman you got a strategist.
Right.
I already had whether I had already had a big fight with my son. He said he ain't like none of this Africa stuff. He said, "Tell me how you gonna live on the continent and take care of my sister and don't bring up no man. Do not bring up no man to me." And so I had tried different projects, a chicken project, a gold project. I tried a couple, like maybe four things. I opened up a cafe at one point. My biggest success has been Wonderland's Naturals because it's online and it cuts out the middleman. I got a juice. You understand, it's FDA approved. But pretty much he got my head straight. Don't you send or nothing like that. Don't you send you better know how you going, and that has been my mindset. So everything for me was learning. So I didn't want to live in East Lagoon or a gated community. I like community. I wanted where if I fall down, two, three, four kids come. And you understand? I want when I if I don't come out this apartment, they come knock at the door. Doctor, they talk at the screen. Doctor, uh Coco, they do make that little sound. Coco, Coco, that's the sound they make when they're trying to get your attention. Okay. I need that. Because I'm a foreigner with a girl child in this nation. So it's no different than if I left Chicago. I would not leave Chicago and go to New York and not know how to live there. And how you learn how to live there is finding out the people that's been living there and they tell you how it works, right? You don't walk down that street. Don't never be caught on that block late at night. Don't eat nothing out of there. Nothing. Okay. This hospital say this hospital ain't safe. That precinct done killed three niggas. This one ain't killed nobody. They friendly. We got a friend. You understand? That's how it worked. I said, no, sir. You didn't use me. I used you. It was a fair exchange. Ain't no robbery.
No
You
problem.
just mad that I had a plan for myself. We're not coming here with a plan for ourselves. We're just coming here because many of us are coming here. We're not understanding the economy. The poverty line is at $6,000. The minimum wage is $1.99 a day. A
Mm.
day. So you talking about these little boys with that machete? Minimum. Now we over there talking about some $15 an hour. They at less than $2 a day. Right now the dollar is what, 1 to 16, 1 to 17. Do you get it? Okay. And when you're meeting professional people, because sometimes they dog us, they say, "Oh, when you're getting into these relationship problems, it's because you didn't pick greater people." Okay. The a doctor here will be making 5,000 Ghana a month. 6,000 Ghana a month. Okay. Man, that's like 500, $600.
Mhm.
You a doctor, MD. The average
Right.
school teacher, 350 Ghana a month. Okay. That's like about 40, $50, $60 a month. They live on impossible wages. So that's part of why they mistreat us. That's why they want us here, because we do bring revenue. You understand? We spending, we pulling out, we going to ATMs and pulling out large wads of money. Some shit we don't even do in the inner cities. It's all stuff that we know better than. You know better than that. We talking
Right.
in front of them, yeah, because I got this car, I got a boat at home, I got two bikes, I got a motorcycle, and they like, wow, he rich.
Right.
We talking too
And they
much.
count your pockets.
Oh, they big pocket watchers. They big pocket watchers. And they expect to be paid for everything that they help you with. So, if they help you carry something, they expecting a little something. If they give you information, they expecting a little something. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Somebody put out here 5K is less. No, I didn't say 5K. Five GHC is 5,000 Ghana. Not, I wish it was 5,000 US. It's not. It's 5,000 Ghana per year. I'm responding to one of the
Yeah.
people in the live. Yeah, no. So we're not studying the economy. We're not looking at what these professional jobs, even their parliament. We look at what our Congress people make, and then you look at what they call it the parliament, but you look at what our people make, and it's night and day. It's night and day. So we don't understand the type of poverty we're walking into. We keep thinking their poverty is our poverty. It's not. Theirs is on steroids. And a lot of times it's full of a lot of injury. So if you had only had $5, you could have filled out the paperwork for school. If you had only had the $10, you understand, like, it's a lot of that. So when we come, we're targeted. It ain't personal mostly. We're targeted because we look like new money. Because but I never felt it as intensely as I felt it here in Ghana. Because Ghana, the Ghanaians, West Africans in general, if in Chicago, what we have is more Nigerians. You get a very much a way more upbeat, hustler, fast paced energy. And so what we keep confusing is, and I just want to speak, I want to be free to speak, okay? Because I normally don't speak like this, but there's no other way for me to say it. We're used to like niggerism. So
Mhm.
we can say, oh, that's a thug. He talk like that, this, that, the other. We know what the nigga on. Or we used to pimp mentality, the whole Dolomite, yeah, well, I got these, she better have my trap money, these hoes, these. Well, what happens when people say, good morning, how are you? God bless you. How's your family? That's good. You understand? They talk. This is a very polite culture, but the game is the game anyway. So yes, you're gonna get beautiful greetings and salutations. They're gonna act.
So
They're gonna. I'm
yeah,
just
we
checking
get it.
on
Good
you.
time.
But the game is still the game. So it's still the game. So yeah, they talk real sweet. And they, you daddy, and I'm mama, and I'm auntie, and you uncle. And the bottom line is I'm trying to get to them Benjamins. I want them ducats. I want, So we get affected by that. I tell people, protect yourself from that. You know damn well that ain't your niece.
Right.
You know you ain't that boy uncle.
Right.
Reconnected. Stop that. We're caught up in the romanticism, and they know somebody said polite, but they hustle you. Yeah, because that's part of the hustle. Like that's them anyway. But who being
Right.
foolish is us. We already know. That's what I'm saying. Come here and be yourself. Just you, it ain't no black person you ever walked outside of your home in Detroit and just liked, just was here. Okay, I help you. Here you go. All right, when I get paid Friday, I'm gonna send. So why you come to Africa and do
Ooh.
that? We don't even.
Mm.
I'm seeing us do stuff we don't even do in our own
Can
in
you do
our
me a
own
favor?
homes, huh?
Can you do me a favor? Stop
What?
busting me in the head, all right? Stop busting me in the head.
We all have done it. We, myself included, we've
Right,
all done it on some scale. But I'm telling you
right.
that, like, that's where our problem and fitting in is that we haven't figured out, like, no, we're not copycat Africans. We're not. There's and listen. The other thing is all this Paul Bunyan. I just bought me some land. I'm building me a house. I've been here now 4.5 years. I've built nothing, and they're frustrated with me. I've even had them dash me. I won't build anything because I'm 57 years old. I got my daughter. She's 14. I can't take the L. I can't. I don't have it in me to take the L. I can't take the
Mm,
loss. So I just dealt with the reality. Now I'm not telling nobody else what to do. I rent. I have two apartments, one with more space, one with less. And at some point I'll do something different. But the two apartments together is 2,000 100 for the year.
right, right.
So I ain't built nothing. Now I had to ask myself, I said, Wanda, do you come from a family that builds houses? Have you ever built houses? Have you ever done that? Do you know how many bricks? Do you know how many pipes? Do you know anything about that? They dupe you into doing stuff because there's you could have this. No, I just want to get acclimated first. Let me get my feet on the ground. Let me learn how to be here first. Then we'll start all that building. And at some point, I imagine I will build. Now I have a house in Tanzania. I have a traditional roundhouse there, but they wouldn't put no pressure on me to build. Here they put pressure on you to build, but the process is complicated.
Mhm.
Okay, because the chiefs have to agree that land can be sold. You have to check those indentures, and they need to run through the land commission. And even with that land commission, it could still they still play. Okay, and oftentimes, you can only get a 55-year lease or 99. Most times, I'm 57, so 55 what? If you married to a Ghanaian, I'm married to a Ghanaian, even though we're estranged, and I really consider they don't have a stepchild system. So the bloodline dominates. Gia can't get nothing. Gia can't get that. We're
Mm,
not even reading these people's laws. We're not reading their laws. She can never get that. Then when your
mm,
55 years are up, you have to go and go for another set of 55 years. Okay. Who gonna do that? Your son, your niece, your nephew? Like if the Africa gang ain't over here, and then you got to remember to do it. Like some of it is they bank on you not knowing, and
right.
they bank on you not looking at legal ease. It only takes a little while to learn. And they teaching this stuff in the school. Gia can come home and teach you some of the stuff herself. My baby can do a workshop on what
Mm,
they teach in the schools. And it's scary because these women are coming over here, they're getting married, they're working on these visas to get these guys over there. They're trying to build, but the guys are not working on their citizenship to get them. They're not getting them anything. They're not getting them residency. They're not getting them citizenship. They're not welcoming them into their own home. Okay, I had to tell my husband. I said, why don't you build the house? I said, I'm not getting no African man no house. I'm not giving you no land. That should have been passed down to you. What was you doing that nobody saw fit to give you land? What was you doing? All them do 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 do. That dodo bird stuff happened. It's like, no, this not no good deal. What I'm telling you is, I'm an adult. I'm not a girl, and I'm not
right.
thirsty. Like slow, we're not slowing down and using all this good street knowledge. Your grandmother told you, don't come back with an empty purse and a wet coochie. We coming back with empty purses and wet coochies. Now the wood is good over here. No disrespect. The wood is good. And the wood is
All
good. And
right.
I ain't sampled. I ain't saying I'm telling you why the wood is good. The wood is good because these men are not drunk. They're not high. They're not in jail. So that's already a better sexual partner. Do you understand?
Mhm.
They're healthiest specimen of man. So I get
Right.
that. And black men are beautiful, period. So we ain't got to debate that. But this was a country grounded on polygamy that the British pushed. They told them to stop doing that, but the mindset is still polygamous. So you coming over here getting this good wood, and you shooting back and doing all this paperwork. But I live here, and I done got tired of it now. They're village wives. If that man has ever had a child with a woman, that's his wife. That's how they see it, because
Okay.
there's bloodline there. They don't discount their bloodline. We do all that baby mama. Well, that ain't his real. It's just that's it. Okay. And ain't nobody holding themselves. The women think the men hold themselves. Who? There's a brothel right around the corner from me. That's where I had my cafe, and I moved it because of it. I got rid of it. Snatch is going for 30 CDs. 30 the 5 CDs is like 80 is 80 Ghana now. Do you understand? That's how real it is. So who holding what? I'm not saying that they frequent the brothel, but I'm saying that should give you an indication. I know in the U.S. to get a chick, like a hoe, $40 is the going price. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what they say.
okay. It's $40, right? Okay,
They say
for
even
for
for
just
the young girls, I done heard these guys talking.
right. The young girl. That's the young girl price. $40. Okay. Yeah, like we're not understanding, like we're not asking those questions. What happens socially, emotionally over here? There's no domestic violence shelters. There's no storage units. If I come over here and I marry Kofi and we get into it, where am I going?
Right. So I noticed
Okay.
while you're on that, I don't want to skip over it, but I was looking at going over your what was it? The Bridging the Gap
Somebody put down here.
consultation.
Go ahead. Somebody put down here. 30 Ghana is not even $2 USD. You sure ain't. And somebody else put down here for watch a breakfasts. You got that right.
So a lot of the things that you're talking about right now, you also offer Bridging the Gap consultation that will help anyone moving. You have what information for men and women moving to Ghana
It's
or just
men and women. It's for the wet behind the ears. It's for people that's asking those questions that's in those groups. And we've done a disservice to diasporans. We're not telling them the complete truth. We're not telling them. We're not telling them that Ghanaians are passive aggressives. That no, ain't nobody gonna get in your face and call you no bald head funky hoe.
right.
But they work with spiritual systems. They will put 3 eggs in a bottle of water outside your door. They are,
Mm,
you can't get food tampered with. Do you
mm,
understand? They don't fight how we fight. And we not coming here learning to fight. How do they fight? How do they fight? Some of it is sending a monitor. It's having somebody close to you that you feel comfortable with, and you running your mouth, and that person's there just to monitor. And I say this with, I'm saying this on a live because it's the truth. I'm not lying. Okay. And any of them would tell you
a lot of the things that you are saying, when I listened to, I don't know if you remember, it was like a month or two where a lot of stuff was going on in Gambia. And the one lady, she kept coming on. She said, there are people following me. And she
they were
said, just
following
like,
her.
yeah, when I go somewhere, it's a lady and a man, and I see them. And she kept saying, they're trying to poison me. Now, she did
Yeah,
the video.
and they did. Forgot to her
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, they got her. Well, that's something to consider. I mean, it's just it's not that you have to be scared, it's that you need to understand the game. Like you coming over here, you buying land, you got the husband, you wrapped in kente, and then you don't know the minimum wage. You don't know the rules of engagement for your children in school. You don't know what is the protocol when you want to build things. You don't just get to build things. Listen, we have people build, have their own property and want to fix the road. They want to fix the road outside the home. They fix the road, and then the Ghanaian come and tear it up because that's not your land. And you think like, okay, I'm improving it, so why would you tear it up? Well, can I get off a plane and come into your house and change that artwork that you have on the wall right now? No, but that's how they see it. Do you understand? That's how they see it. So we keep projecting onto them how we think they'll see it. They will like that I'm helping. I had a woman, she got mad at me because she said, I went to the children's school. The school was terrible. I'm going to do something about the school. I said, you can't do nothing about that school. You need to talk to the chief and the elders. You need to talk to them first because you don't get to come in with your educational model and put that on them. You have to have the circle. You got to get in the circle. When you see the king, you got to bring him some schnapps and you got to bring him some money and get down and kneel. And then he asks you why you coming there, and then he pray, and then the land opens up for you. Or you can do it the hard way, which is do this stuff and then they just sabotage you.
Mm.
They price gouge you. That's what they're going to do, okay? Because there is a protocol, there is a cultural structure, there is a hierarchy, and it makes no earthly sense to us. And you have to control yourself and follow that. And that's very hard for us because we think,
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, we think we cool. We think, oh, we I'm that my brother. I'm his. You ain't his damn brother.
Because then when you growing up and you in the neighborhood, you learn growing up. We knew who was the crackhead. We knew who was the alcoholic. We knew who was the pervert around the neighborhood. Who was touching kids. Like you say, don't go to that Coney Islands because they food spoiled. Um, when a person says something with a certain tone or look on their face, we know, oh, they not playing, or this is about to happen, or you can sense these things.
Mm-hmm.
So we've learned from the age of being able to go out and socialize to however we are old now, 49, 50, or whatever, that
Mm-hmm.
this is the way our community works. So at
Our
so
community. This ain't your community.
exactly. So what I'm
You
saying
being
is that
hosted.
right. So once you leave what you know inside and out, you basically become you starting as a baby moving in.
Yes, you doing kung
Relearning
fu. Remember kung fu? Remember the movie the show Kung Fu
right.
with Master? Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
You're learning. Somebody wrote down here, it is unfortunate that this sister did not extend herself to the diasporan community that offers repatriation service to prevent some of these experiences. There are people with integrity here. There are definitely people with integrity here. And I wouldn't still be here after 4 years, 4.5 years if it wasn't. But there's no diasporan community that can protect you from everyday brushes with community. Do you understand? And if
I agree.
please know that because my first attack, my worst attack came from my own spouse. What could that community do with that? He waited 2 years to get to pop locking and dropping. You understand? But he came with
Mm,
his little electric boogaloo and I had an answer for it. But that's what I'm saying. It's not going to always be who and what you think. There are many men that step forward and became my headship and guided and protected me and Gia through that storm. But that has nothing to do, like here in my community, Pone, KPONE. Everybody know Dr. Wanda. Even the people that don't like me. Okay, they don't have any beef with me. They know me, the market women, they dash me things, they sweet to me. All of that goes on because we done already got past the stage of them trying to cheat me every 5 seconds and all that. It's boring now. We're over it. Okay. And I've done a lot in my own community. But as soon as I step out of this community, and I go to a new community, it all starts back over when they hear that English language. As soon as that English is hit. I've been in a cab where as soon as I started talking, they want to raise the price of the cab. These are facts. There's no community that can protect you from that. That is an overall mindset of the kinsmen here, of the men, of the people here. That I
Yeah,
am an
over and over.
ATM. I got it. I got the money. You could afford the ticket, then you got the money. Nothing can protect you. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna have your first love, your first bruise, your first heartbreak, your first rob. Somebody gonna steal something from you. You could have them painting and they'll steal something from some it's gonna happen and you gotta survive it and not see it like the country gets thrown away and understand that there are different mindsets. The tribes are not even. Different tribes have different personalities and they raise and behave different ways that the tribesmen don't necessarily like one another and they work against each other. So you may be hiring somebody that you know, okay, you just hire Kofi because you like Kofi. Somebody else says,
Mhm.
"Oh, I got a cousin that can do that," because they don't particularly like that tribal group and they want to put their own people first. You understand? Nothing can protect you from that. You need to go through it and you need to understand what it is. And so that's what the consulting offers because I'm sick of people coming to me after, and I've had several of them come. We had a woman that got a black eye. We had a woman that stayed in my other space. She had to be evacuated out with her children, where her husband beat her up in a village because he had the money. Another one that left her car, they smashed her car because trusted that she could leave the car with them while she left and came back. Like all kinds of things are happening among the diaspora that are injurious that they will talk to certain people that they trust. I'm one of the people that they talk to, but I don't like it. Some of that stuff really actually can be avoided. You would not leave your car with just anybody. Do you understand? Just because they're quote unquote nice. And I'm seeing where I don't know if it's witchcraft or voodoo or what, but it's like we come here and we lose our some of us, and it's really just some of us. We lose our minds that we're not using our discernment, we're not using our street smarts, we're not remembering the wisdom that our grandparents and parents told us about how you. One thing I let the Ghanaians know: you a stranger to me. You is just as strange if I got off a plane from Chicago to Washington, D.C. I don't know them. I don't know them.
I think what
When
it
I
is
went to
too is that
California, I didn't know them and I treated them. I show you
right,
respect. How you doing? Good morning. That's good. But all that laxed, going in my purse, pulling out my debit card, I didn't do none of that stuff. I didn't do any of that stuff. You gonna tell me how to spend my money, and I'm going along with it, letting use all these all that flattery. I said if these men keep telling you you beautiful, listen, baby, I've been here a long time. The same five boys that like me in junior high are the same five men that like me as an adult woman. Prince never wanted me. Michael Jackson never wanted me. You understand? Now you pulling Prince and Michael Jackson. You know it's
uh,
off. You know it's off. And now I'm not a number one stunner. Then I was fit, fine, fabulous. Okay. Now I got a mommy pouch. My tits are long when I don't have the bra on. This is for this ain't this not this is for somebody in love with me. Let's we
right,
talking. I'm not delusional. This is for
right.
somebody in love with me. So all that, mama, you this. It's like, boy, bye.
I think you told
I
me
ain't got
something
that,
about the men
huh?
too coming over there getting the women that they wouldn't have a
Well,
chance
the
in the
men are
United
trying to
States.
be low key. What you call them? Passport
Passport, bro.
bro. They boring. They get got to, but a lot less. Because they always get. Men always fare better with relationships because it's more transactional for them anyway. You understand?
Mm,
They trying to lay some pipe and feel something young, feel something with a little more elasticity to it. We get it.
something
But
strange for no change.
it's exploitation. They're not trying to put girls in school. They're not trying to help them start a little business. They're not, you understand? They're not doing any of that. They're not trying to elevate and raise what they wallet think. But they get got the other way, because they get to buying stuff or getting drunk in these bars, and they get them. I mean, one way or the other, you're gonna get got until you figure out how to maneuver and mill and move about. And I'm just what I encourage is remember that you come from a people that have survived the Middle Passage, slaveocracy, Reconstruction, integration, civil rights. You understand? They didn't get us until they bombed us, and they bombed us twice. And they finally got us with dumping drugs and guns in our community. So we come for so much to be going back crying about I got scammed. You got scammed. The scam
Right.
was the 40 acres and the mule. You know about scamming. You've been knowed about scamming. So what do you do? What are you doing differently? We're rushing into too much. We bring in too much romanticism. We copying things that we don't need to copy. They've asked me a couple times to be queen mother. I'm not gonna be nobody's queen mother. I'm not, because it's queen mother of development. All you can do is develop. I've been developing. I've been
Right.
developing since I was a kid in Detroit, Chicago. You understand? I come from grassroots. I don't need that. And I'm not putting down nobody. I'm talking about me, Wanda, just me.
Right.
Plus, nothing is greater than my doctorate. I earned that. I don't want no title where you feel like you can tell me what to do. I got to hop this way, dress this way. No, I left the US because I wanted freedom. These things put more shackles on you in my mindset because I don't come from it. I'll work with a queen mother, but I don't have to be one. I'm somebody's queen mother. I'm Gia's queen mother. That's it. My mother was my queen mother. That's it. That's all. That's where I'm at because that authenticity keeps me safe. They play on the fact that you consider them brethren. They play on the fact that you take in those compliments and you let it go to your head. They play on the fact that they show you the worst situations and have you sad. You've been looking at black people, I mean, dire straits. 96% of DCFS is made up of black children. You ain't gave one dime to them. Now you get to Africa, every orphanage breaks your heart. How?
Mm,
When? That's a problem for me. That's what I'm saying. That's when you like, that's that voodoo. That's that something. Because you don't have no history of this. Some people do. They come in, they've been serving youth in the States, they brought the same skills over here. Other people that you haven't figured out why you're here. And then I'm gonna tell you what Marcus Garvey says. Some of us are not fit to come. I am so sorry that some of us are suffering from so much trauma. We're so unhealthy. These men are men. Okay, there's certain ways you can talk to them and relate to them and confront them and deal with them. And when you're raising your voice and losing it, and I'm guilty of it, and you're
mm,
losing it, the community, not just the man, the community is not going to help you. If you're a woman and you losing and you getting them together, TI is, they'll look at you and not say nothing. And they quietly, because remember I told you they passive aggressive.
mm,
Everything, every way you need help, all of it will not go in your favor. They're talking in their language, they're talking in their mother tongues about you, and it's not flattering. And once they know that about you, they don't like you. They ain't gonna tell you. See, we black. We gonna say it. They're not gonna say it. It's everything
right.
ain't gonna go right. You won't have the support. But you in a foreign nation being hosted. This is not your home. You're trying to make it a home away from home.
So
And you're being
let me.
hosted
You've been in Ghana for how long?
4.5 years.
The reason I asked that question because you'll have people like the gentleman that made the comment um, earlier about basically going against what you're saying. But we talking to somebody that knows Ghana very well, the community that she's in, and it's not like we talking to somebody that's been there 6 months and all of a sudden they are a professional on Ghana. Another thing too is like I definitely understand what you're saying about romanticizing Africa
I
or
did it.
romanticizing Ghana, and even when while I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, my pastor used to say while I'm preaching, if I hit you in the head, just know I wasn't aiming at you, but it hit where it was supposed to hit. And
There
you
you
done
go.
hit me in the head about at least 3 times already. And I think these are things that people need to hear and understand that nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing is going to
No,
be
no.
fantasy. You're not about to cross over the rainbow and come on the other end, and life is going to be skipping through daisies. And um, I think we're just trading one style of people and a style of life uh, of how we live for another, but it's just given to you in a different form. So for some of the people that's hearing this, it's hurting their feelings because um, they want to believe in something. They want to believe in that fantasy. They want to stay in that fantasy world. But I would rather somebody tell me the truth. So I'm not walking into no situation blind, and I understand what's really going on.
You a pioneer. If you come to Africa, let's come out of Ghana. If you come to Africa, you're coming as a pioneer. So, and that's who needs to be here because you all of this, even if you have someone helping you, Africa is on purpose, is underdeveloped. And you're going to run into stressors that you're not used to. It's slower. We used to fingertips, get this done, boop, bop, bop, bap, beep, boop. They don't do it. And you got to control yourself and manage your stress. It is red tape, it's ways and means. So, for example, my ECG box went out, okay? And so they couldn't see. I got to plug this up. They couldn't see. Jibble, give me my charger. They couldn't see the ECG. I still get the light, but they couldn't see they couldn't see the numbers on it, so they cut it off. Okay, and so what happened? Give me my this charger for this phone. This one, the 15. So they couldn't see the lights on the box. I ain't did nothing wrong. They cut my electric off. And
Mm-hmm.
these houses are not like our houses. They get hot fast. Okay, that's why all of them have ceiling fans, and they built with cracks in them. That's why you get the mosquitoes in because you don't seal them off like we do in the U.S. They don't seal the houses off in the U.S. like that. So I'm in the community. The community love me. They say, "Doctor, don't worry," because I was worried I was gonna burn up. It was after 5. Everything shut down. Well, I was at 1%. God is so good. And they said, "We got you." They called somebody, he climbed the pole, he cut my lights back on. He said, "We'll go to the office Monday." That's ways and means. Ways and means is if you good to them and you're active in your community, if first of all, if you meet your king or your chief, the land will open up for you. Just follow protocol. When they tell you to do these things, you just do them. All of them are not great people. They're not even, but at least you've gone through the protocol to begin the steps of making yourself acceptable, right? And it ain't no different than when we had somebody on the block that sold drugs. Whoever was running that tip, we tried to be cool with him so that our kids could pass and go to school. So, you understand when grandma getting
Oh,
out of
no
church, they
problem.
don't shoot on Sundays. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? It's all
No
stuff
problem.
we've done before, but we don't want to do it because we think it ain't supposed to be there. But the truth is, it is there. It's just a different type of gangster. It's That's all it is. I
Yeah.
go places, I don't talk. I always had, first of all, I don't move in this country without headship. There's always a man with me because this country is male centered and they talk to men. Men talk to men. If you standing there with your wife and y'all doing something, they're gonna talk to you. I don't care what she can be talking, but they're gonna still be talking to you. I don't
Mm.
move without headship. If there's a conflict, it's a man that's gonna settle it. Man get you in it, the man negotiate it. That's how it is. It ain't no woman getting women out of nothing in this country. These men get you out of it. So, yeah, you have to vet them. You need to know who is a trusted steward. The gentleman is absolutely right. There are people here with integrity, but it takes more time to find them because the poverty is on steroids. And when they see you and they hear that accent, they see money. They hear money. And you can never shake it off. So if you accept that about yourself, I know when I'm walking down Linwood and Davidson and I get to the corner, if I'm dressed a certain way, they're going to think I'm a whore. So I don't dress that way.
Right.
But that doesn't change. Do you understand? There's a rule. This is a prostitute's uniform. You don't want them pausing. You don't wear that uniform. But we're stubborn. We want to come. I'm gonna be myself. I'm with my people. I'm with my brother. I fuck the white man.
We're gonna give it a second, y'all. But for those that do have, this thing started all the way over. I'm gonna bring her back in, y'all. But if you have any questions, go ahead and start putting the questions in. I think I gotta wait for her to come back in. Guarantee her phone probably died. But we definitely have got a lot of good information so far. Dr. Wanda is not playing around with you. Exercise is going good. I'm down 16 pounds and decided to, I think after 31 days, I'm hooked on going to the gym. So I just get up in the morning right before work and I head in and I get me at least a mile in. And now I'm just working on getting my mile time down. I can do a mile. Today I did a mile in 17 minutes. So um, also, I want y'all to know that hopefully we can get her back in. And I thank you for asking about that. Appreciate it. Uh, Dr. Wanda also does consultations. I had a list of things that for the consultation. She does vacation or retirement plans. She also will help you with the economic and dating game. Uh, uh, Sisterhood, the non-present of sisterhood. I guess when traveling or moving to Ghana by yourself. What else does she have here? She'll give you counseling on marriage, the difference between America and here. The starter kit, which was telling you how to get your Ghana card and a couple of other things. And she also has Wanda's Lands Natural. We're gonna try to see if we can send her another link. Yeah, she is the real deal, most definitely. And I think it's good for all of us to no matter how hard it is to hear the truth or how hard it is to come out of that fantasy, we all need to really know what's going on. I think those that live on a continent, um, a lot of them have got used to the rigmarole or whatever it is, of living. It's not like it's a bad thing because I think anybody will tell you it's better to be on the continent and going through whatever you're going through than still here in America. But I believe that the truth needs to be told. A lot of the things that she said, even in that time we were on, hit me in the head hard because, like, some of us wouldn't even help certain family members out. Uh, if your neighbor was sitting on the porch and said, and was crying, and you asked your neighbor, like, what's going on? Are you okay? You all right over there? Yeah, I'm 150 short on the light bill. Uh, they gonna come out tomorrow. They done told me they gonna turn it off. You'd be like, oh man, I'm gonna pray for you. Jump in your car and go on to work. You would probably jump in your car and going out to eat. You wouldn't think twice about giving that neighbor $150 because 9 out of 10, him or her probably get on your nerves already. But when you go to, I would say just about any country or you on vacation, you hear these sob stories or you there for a while and you beginning to reach in your pocket and you giving. um, I think it's something about being on in the motherland and wanting to be such a you want to be a positive beacon when you get there. You want to be able to pour into whatever country you in Africa, and I think we all go into that. Uh, we'll have to have Dr. Wanda come back on another live. We may have to do it a little bit earlier because I know it's late in Ghana. We're gonna go ahead and end this live. I appreciate everybody that came through. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We look for those same, and it's not the same. I think it's too tricky when you. I think it's almost like you're used to the characters in the United States. You're used to how the different offices work. Where you go into one office, you take care of something. You can go take care of something within 30 minutes. It's done. Run down the street, pick up your dry cleaning, run over here, go to the dentist. You could do 10 different things in one day. But what I'm, seeing and hearing in Ghana or in other countries on the continent that, plan on doing one thing that day and pray you can get that done. I kind of knew her phone was going to go out when she said it only had 1%. Once again, I thank y'all for coming into the live. we're gonna cut it short tonight. And oh, wait.
Okay, I ran out of data.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was close to.
I definitely wanted to highlight some of the things that you're doing while we on here. I would love for you to come back anytime, even if we'll push the time up earlier so it ain't 11 o'clock your time.
I'm a
Um,
soldier.
I see. I see. You know what? You could actually have a class for repats to come into class, sit down when they're there, and actually teach them and learn.
That's
But
what the consultation is for.
okay, so
I done finally
before we
broke down, and all this time I've never done it, but I finally said enough. I just want to. Yeah, I want to teach it now
okay, so
because you
before
get
we, I
time.
want to
You get time wasters.
right. I want to hit this point first. I watch you on
Okay.
TikTok. When I see you on TikTok, uh, I see you doing these toilets, putting in
Yes.
toilets, and for the last one I seen was the elderly lady. You put
Hmm.
a toilet into her home. How did that? What is that program about?
Okay, so the four areas I concentrate on is library planting. I do education. I
Mhm.
do sanitation. That's the toilet. I do mobile. So occasionally you'll see me assist somebody with a mobile aid, and then I do. These are just things that kind of tug at my heart, and I decide I'm gonna get in on that on a personal level. Uh, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I have a partner. I'm not particularly partnering with him right now, Benjamin Apari, who is a environmental inspection officer in the country, and he introduced me to a program called Gamma, and this was the government deciding that they would pay 60% for home toilets, and the local would have to come up with the other 40%. And the poverty is so intense that most of the locals could not come up with the 40%. But he had shared it with me, and I crunched the numbers, and it worked out to be about maybe like another $200. If they had $200, they could have a home toilet. And so I said, I came up with the bright idea. I said, it was around November. I said, well, we're getting close to our holiday season. Our hearts are a little bit open. We tend to open up our wallets during that time. Let me do an appeal that.
Yeah, that 200, 200. She froze again, but yeah, that 200. When she said that, I was thinking that's kind of high to put on people. Well, what if it's 200 US? What is the full price? That's if you making, what did she say, $1 or something a day? That's a hefty feat right there.
And it took off because Americans don't understand, like, what is that about that you don't have a toilet? See, the Ghanaians are handsome people. They look good.
Mm.
They dress well. They're attractive. They all of that, and we can't imagine that they are using the bush or that they're um toilet. He was using the community toilet. And
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
Wait.
help, look here, hurry up. We we shut down with that. So I traveled with a portable toilet, and it
Mm.
came with the toilet. You pull a slot, the fecal goes down. There's a enzyme that you put that breaks it down, liquefies it, and you're able to, dump the handle that. But that toilet, no. And a bush, me, and then I'm a chubby checker.
Right.
I don't squat. Then when I understood during the rainy season, many of the people boo boo in those fecal bags, in those black bags. They put their fecal in the black bags and they throw it.
Mhm.
And when they throw that in the rainy season, the water loosens it.
Mhm.
So that fecal goes into the water, your water system. All of this is not in every area, okay? Because Ghana is 16 regions. Some regions have more wealth, more access, more building, more infrastructure than other regions. That's the other mistake we making. We're coming here and we're hanging out in a crowd. And we taking that slave trip. I'm gonna find out what happened to my people. The
Mhm.
last bath, the first bath, the second bath. You better find out how these people bathing, how these people washing their hands, because you eating this food by someone that openly defecates. That's why the incidence of typhoid, the incidence of cholera, because if it's a different thing if I haven't washed my hands, it's another thing if I go and I wipe with leaves or whatever my system is, and I come and I hand you wache. I come and I hand you,
Right.
you see them, but you ignore them.
Right.
Community to yours, and the community I'm in, my sanitation options are lower. My daughter taught me. She said, "Mommy, when you in the community, if you don't see and you're buying food, if you don't see how they wash their hands, if you don't see water source, don't get it.
Mm.
It's not that you gonna definitely get sick. The potential for you to get sick is high. So that food poisoning, getting those needing to be dewormed, um, or papaya seeds. It's a simple way to do it, but you got to know that you need to do it because we don't deworm in the U.S. We
Mhm.
don't worry about those things, okay, unless we go out to rural areas. Okay, so all of that information put the issue of humanity heavy on me. I said, okay, I can ignore this because I have an apartment with a toilet. I go up in there, shut my door, crack my imaginary newspaper, and relieve myself. But the reality is that problem will affect me. All I have to do is be going to visit you, be at school, come back late. You understand? Enjoying friends. And that problem is there. So we know in the 21st century, you can have a toilet, you can have a septic system. We don't have to do that. At worst, you can have but we don't live like that. You don't have to live like that. A country that the salt from this country sustains two-thirds of the world. They're salt harvesters. They have gold, they have cocoa, they have everything. How are you sitting in a bush? And then they
Right.
build their houses. They still build their houses without toilets. So some of it's education, although there's other places in the world, Vietnam and other places, where sanitation is also an issue. I'm not there, I'm here. So it's Wanda lands because wherever Wanda land, good
Mm,
things happen.
mm.
Progress happens, help happen. You understand? Wherever I'm at, I'm going to help the community because ultimately it's going to affect you. So that's how I got into the sanitation thing. I ain't never one time cared about nobody's toilet but my own ever. Then I got over here, and the numbers, even in East Africa, they do the squatties. They have the ceramic squatties. It's just here the sanitation issues and their comfortableness cohabitating with garbage. You have to go see some of the beaches that's just filled up. Now, some of that is the work of the Europeans dumping things in oceans and then coming up on their shore. But they don't have. You know how we went through give a hoot, don't pollute, never be a dirty bird. They didn't get that record. They
Right,
don't know nothing about that song. They litter and they comfortable with it. They litter and they burn, but you can't burn fecal.
right.
Mhm. So we
So,
do the toilets, the home toilet.
how much was the toilet with you said so the resident would have to pay $200 American.
The resident had to pay 40%. The government was covering 60%, but they can't.
Okay. So how are you able to do it now?
Just like I'm doing. Just they tell me about a family. Tell you about the family. If somebody want to get in on it, they get in on it. But Wonderlands Naturals was helping me self fund because I don't chase corporate money. I don't chase mega church money. It's a bunch of fundraising venues I don't mess with because I require freedom. You're not going to tell me my numbers. I'm not going to stand and sit when you tell me to. And I don't like what they do on the back end. You helping on one hand and then you're doing something in another nation that destroys it in another kind of way. So I stay out of that. So that means I have to do it the old fashioned grassroots way. You just throw it out there, and whoever opens up and they want to involve themselves with the project, they involve themselves.
I got you. I got you. The next thing I want to get in.
It's not so bad,
Well, I mean,
huh?
I watched it. If y'all ain't on TikTok, you need to go over there and see on TikTok what this sister is doing. She is doing amazing, amazing things. And I see a lot of sisters from the states that are helping you. I saw two young ladies that came in that had sent the barrel. You
Oh,
know
I
what I'm
can't
talking.
even hear you. Say it again because you broke up some, Paul.
I was saying that on if they on TikTok, they can see a lot of the things that you do, the amazing things you do, and also I was
Hmm.
giving props to the young ladies that sent the barrel, and they end up coming to visit and even bringing more stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. TT Lot. I mean, she's not the only one, but she happened to be here, and I promised her. She had sent a couple of barrels, and I said, well, if you ever come to Ghana, I'm gonna host you well, and I did that.
That's
I
good.
did
That's
that.
good.
And she had a hoot of a time. Yeah, other people. I said, listen, if you come, I'll host you. But even that, I cringe sometimes because people don't understand. This is not a mini America. This is Africa. So the lights
Right.
go off. No, I can't promise you can get some Doritos. I can't get you no Doritos. It's the type of
Yeah,
nonsense that we bring over here. They snacks ain't they even they snacks ain't no good. Why are you in Africa looking for a snack? A snack to them is a pie is great. It's pineapple. It's it's jackfruit. It's watermelon. That's a snack. It ain't hot stuff Cheetos.
I hear you, born again. I understand. So let me also ask you this.
I ain't born again. I still like hot stuffed Cheetos, but I'm not gonna get mad at a nation
No, no, no,
because they
no,
don't
no.
do that.
I was reading the
No, these
comment.
people come and get mad.
No, no,
It's
I
like,
was reading the
stop it.
comment.
Oh, like
I was reading the comment.
they get mad.
No, I didn't see. I've seen it before. So I just wanted to touch bases on your the consultations. Can you tell the audience what type of consultations that you do?
Well, I haven't. It's not what I do. I've been doing it, but now I've decided to do it and charge because what I've run into is I
Mm.
will if I can give you a tip or something and go along your way and be okay. I'm happy with that. But I've gotten to a level because I do serve in the nation. The philanthropy and the teaching, and then I'm raising my daughter. I don't want my time wasted. I don't have time for that. So I've let some people close to me that shouldn't have been that close to me, it's complaining. We ain't the Africans bring their issues, but the diasporans bring other issues. Okay, and I'm not over here. I'm not digmatized. I'm not chasing after the wood. It's not that serious. But when people get over here and they over here for a purpose which means they have no focus. You're not coming here because you said I want to be a farmer. I'm starting a business. I'm using this as my retirement plan. If they don't have a focus, then you're going to get in trouble here. This is not Barbados. This is not a small village in Switzerland. This is Africa. And a lot of it is hard. It's not fun. It's not for the weak. So they'll get over here and then they get in these problems and they bring it. They see me because I'm public and they're talking to me and I feel warm and fuzzy and all that. And then it starts because they haven't done the work at home to be healed. They're not healthy enough people. So this is for those people that I help you walk through some stuff so you see if you even ready to be here so that you understand these are some of the things to expect. But for the men and women who have already been to Africa, it's optional. They'll never have to ask me for a consultation at all, okay? Because you already going through your rites of passage, you already going through training. It don't hurt you because I'm on a learning curve, or maybe I have something to offer you. Inviting people to check out my platform. Anybody know me in this country know I'm busy. I'm at a school or I'm in a community at least once a week, every week. Okay. Even when I came back and my mother died, I was still serving. And because I'm a chronic workaholic. I was a workaholic when I was teaching in the high school. I was a workaholic when I was a college professor. I will always be a workaholic. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. They say if you to get over one, you get under one. I ain't banging different men to get over pain. When I'm hurting, I work. So when I stop and I give you time, it means something. So when you waste my time, like charging for that. I ain't never wanted to charge nobody to help out a friend to guide you on the right way. But I've learned, I'm like, oh, this is a new day. This is a very new day. And then you want my time, you'll pay for it.
So can you tell me? I totally understand that. Can you tell me some of the
Mhm.
consultations that you do?
Well, you got the topics. I'll talk to you about shit, I don't even know my own topics. You got
I feel you.
I'll talk to you.
Just some of the topics is
I'll talk to you. Okay.
vacation or retirement
Let me hear
plan.
you.
I thought
Yes.
that was one of them.
Vacation. Would you come over here for a vacation? I wouldn't.
Right,
And
right.
I live here. I wouldn't come over here for a vacation.
Now,
And if you do, you should already know your itinerary. You
mm,
should know this is what I'm coming here to do. These are the places I want to see, and leave it at that. But don't come telling me that you went to see land, you was just here for a vacation, you went to see land, they charged you to show you the land, then the police pulled you all over, they asked you for some money, they just I don't want to hear about it. This because that's what go on every day here. What's another topic, Paul? Give us another one.
the other one you had, that, I'm reading off your list of the
Yeah,
consultation.
you can read it.
Then the other one was retirement plan.
No, move from retirement plan. We know what that is.
What was
Give me another topic.
the sisterhood.
There's no sisterhood. You have to recognize that when you get with a man, you have increased his value to the other women here
Mm,
because they know for sure he got some money now because he got you.
mm,
And they are more than comfortable to get the crumbs off whatever crumbs you dust off that table. They're not gonna say, "Oh, that lady came here and she married him and she has her child with her," and they'll leave him alone. They're not. He actually every the same way the Cadillac worked for the black man. You understand? The same way
mm,
that worked. That's how. So the women look like, wow, I know he can pay school fees now because he has a sponsor. They don't look at us as their wives. They don't respect us as wives. You didn't do nothing to be a wife. No one's paid a bride price for you. You got off of a plane
mm.
and you don't even know these families and you laid with this man and married him. That's how they see it. And culturally, but they don't inundate you. So there's no sisterhood. You're not gonna say go to them and oh he's cheating on me, he lied to me, blah blah blah. We had no sisterhood with the white woman. There's no sisterhood with the African
Mm.
woman. I hope it changes, and you
Right.
will find that some will become your friends. And if they've traveled out and had greater experience, it can be. And when they hurt you, they don't really care because they've been hurt 50 times worse, begging for school fees and everything else. They it ain't that serious to them. I'm just being honest. Somebody else will lie to you. I'm being don't feel that way about us.
So when you hear, Charleston White he has a big following. He gets on there sometimes and clowns and does this and that. But for someone
Mhm.
to walk around and say that Africans don't like Black Americans, what do you say about that?
I think it's a misnomer. It's not that they don't like us. It's that we're not continental Africans. So they this is a country that's based on classism, okay? Besides tribalism, the other issue you run into is classism, all right? Blacks don't use classism. How could we? We all came off the boat together. Who was greater than the other one? Okay. No, so we don't relate to crack classism. But here they practice it heavily. So they'll tell their children, no, oh, don't date this one from that group, and don't date this one from that background. You understand? Even Benjamin, he said, I would never marry the Wache woman. Why? If the Wache woman is nice and she pretty and she friendly and she like you, why? Because of her class. He wants
Mm,
someone that is, educated. That's a huge issue. That's a huge issue. That class issue. In terms of the way they see it, white is a high class. That's why you see how they kiss their butt, they be up in their face. Okay, we the low man on the pool, the lowest thing, lower the Chinese, the white, the Lebanese, the Chinese are above us. We're the lowest class. They think we low class, but we low class with some Benjamins.
right.
But there's nobody that's gonna be proud when they get them a white man. Oh, I married a white man. Oh, I married a white woman. They're proud. When they marry one of us, mm, I got away with it because I'm doctor. Because they value
Oh, I get you. I get
this. I'm balling on a budget, baby. I ain't got no money.
you. Right, right,
I ain't got and look, even if I do, my mother trained me to hold my purse tight. I share with you, but I don't sponsor anything. You need to come to me the same way you would come to the white man's bank. Don't come pulling out these projects and have these deep dreams with a middle-aged woman coming over here. Now all of a sudden we could build this, we could do that. Nope, because what have you produced before I met you?
right.
I grew up with the watermelon man, the peanut man. Okay, famous. I know those that had one thing they did, and they took care of their wife and them little ugly kids and went to church on Sunday. You understand? Had them a shot at the
Right.
local bar, and ain't bother
Yeah.
nobody. I understand. You ain't showed me where you produce nothing. No, my purse is tight. That ain't no good business deal. I don't want to be involved in it.
Okay. So we're gonna move to. I know it's getting late. Wanda's Wonderland's Nap.
Wanderland's Naturals is born out of me discovering I had an unqualified husband. I
Mm,
sent the money for us to open up our business, which was juice. He did produce an amazing juice. He was a juice maker. Sugar cane, pineapple juice. All his juice was good. What he wasn't, sir, was a businessman. Okay? He pretended to be a businessman. He was no businessman. So and the other thing was he had me here with this juice and it was illegal. It was not FDA approved. So when they can give you a fine that cripples you, that penalizes you. And if you American, they always give us they always they owe men and
now was
women.
that was it? Did the same requirements? Did Africa have the same requirements as the U.S. or was it as far as
This is FDA. Once you after FDA approved in the country, you can move it wherever. I can export. It can be exported. But
so
it
the problem
also has a
wasn't
legal right
Ghana
to be on
selling
the
in the U.S.
shelves here because say it again.
I said so the problem wasn't selling it in Ghana; it was the selling it in the U.S.
Ghana not FDA approved, that means it didn't have a right to be on those shelves. It didn't have a right to be out of to be in the restaurants, a couple of places that he had placed it. But
Okay,
also he didn't have business mindset, no business plan. So for example, a person requests 100 pieces, he gives you 70. A person you give 100 pieces, you wait a couple of weeks, you go check with them to see if you can get some of the money now because your pocket's low. He wasn't a businessman.
right.
Over here, the hustle start early. The cock crows, and you start hearing the sweeping. The women are sweeping. They sweeping the veranda. They sweeping the dirt. They sweeping. Okay, people up, and then you start seeing the people carry shit on their heads, and they pushing something. He was in there, sleep. He turned over, scratched his balls, went back to sleep. Okay.
So after the juice, then when did the other product come in?
No, so he kicked the juice to me to try to punish me, but I had already met another juice maker, so I bounced back. But when I
Mm,
saw that he wasn't no businessman, I told him, I said, go on here and keep the little juice. You go on and do that. And if somebody needs some school fees, you give it to them off of that. I'm about to start this online business because I got to eat and my baby
right.
got to eat. So I'm an American. All right, we can do Etsy shop doing all this wild stuff that happens, but enough of them do it that they sabotage us.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I cut the middleman out, and I put me that I trusted that they had shown themselves to be good stewards, I ran Wanderlands Naturals for 3.5 years. The first year I ran it with him because he was shocked. He got smart with me. I hope you don't think my people gonna buy neem powder from you. I said, I don't need your people to buy neem powder from me. This is a global market. I've been someplace you haven't been. There's a global somebody in Japan to buy it from me. Somebody in Germany to buy it from me. They don't have it. They want it.
right.
So he saw like that it was thriving, and he got on board, and we were a team, a husband and wife team with the business for a year. But then he got jazzy. He got jazzy, and I had to give him his dance shoes and his outfit. I had to put him up out of here.
Now you say you got jazzy. What was that about?
It's about your ego. It's about your ego. It's about never having nothing. We a little scrappy, he a little bum. All of a sudden, he moving some dope, or he moving some weed, and he come out those Payless shoes to some Air Force Ones or some Jordans, and then he gets to talking stupid and acting stupid. It's no different than over here. That some people are not for wealth or whatever that is in their mind. Um, and with him, he was giving the people the impression there was no Wanda, that this was simply his business and he was running it. Do you understand?
Mm.
Because he did the post office end. I did all of the online stuff, but he was the one that did the post office and shipped that stuff off, and he was very good at it. Saved us a lot of money. But then he got jazzy and did the electric boogaloo, and he had to be removed.
So, so, so I know
Paul, you learned it.
you. I mean, I think everybody alive is being schooled. One interview is not enough. Um, I would like to have you back on at an earlier time. So,
If you had whenever you want me to come, I'm gonna come. Earlier time or not, I will
okay,
come.
so we're gonna
When I meet you, when I meet you, what I want you to give me is a place at Accra that sell these chocolate cheesecake. You owe me some cheesecake.
okay. So when I come, you got a freezer for the cheesecake to come in to go in.
That freeze check going right in my damn stomach. I'm
I
about.
was about to
You
say
ever seen Garfield
I
the
was gonna buy
cat?
you two of them.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I got one. I was gonna do a Garfield the cat and just take it in because
I
I miss certain things not being in the state. Either
I
that,
got
or you can get on the plane. Well, you in Detroit, you ain't got it. Okay, I was going to say you can bring me some cheese and caramel popcorn because what
I
what
don't
I
know
want out of
why I
Detroit, you
knew you
can't
was
bring
gonna
me.
say that.
I want I want
I knew
Coney
you was gonna
Island, but
say
you
that.
can't bring me that.
I
Yeah,
am gonna
I
have
want
to.
me some daggone Coney Island, and I'm from the D. Somebody
Your
put
stomach
down here, it's too funny. He fooled around and found out. He sure did. He found out that
is
black women use that hefty garbage bag that bag your stuff up, and put it right there on that corner. In his case, it just went out here on this veranda.
you hit him with the to the
Mhm.
left, to the left.
I sung that song for a reason. Okay,
So
he deserved it. He deserved it.
I remember following you on TikTok and seeing a lot of the stuff that was going on. Um, so before we get off, right?
In all fairness, it was a cultural no-no.
Mhm.
It was only because I had put so much time in with the community that they grew to know me and see me as a human, as just instead of just simply an ATM. that I didn't suffer a greater penalty because these women over here don't throw their men out. They
Mm.
stomach them. They put up with everything they do. Okay. It was a cultural no. So I don't want to advise women to come over here and throw their men stuff out because they may have to deal with the police or this or that. And you would think they would be sympathetic to you, but they won't because this is a male centered society. So I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you that I did it because it was like Popeye the Sailor Man. I stood all I can. I can't stands no more.
I totally understand. I totally understand. Go ahead and give
Mhm.
everybody the website, your different social medias where they can find you.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I'm one of them that stick with my name, my government name. My kids, when I taught high school, they'd be like, "Why you using my government name, Miss E?" I'm like, "Boy, your name is Ricky Johnson. Why you coming in here talking about some Big Rob?" Yeah, I'm
Right,
just Dr. Wanda. I'm Dr. Wanda on TikTok. I'm Dr. Or you'll always find me as Dr. Wanda Evans Brewer on Facebook. Those my two. I do YouTube. I came off of YouTube. I play with YouTube lightly now because I was being monitored um when the split happened. Every time I would do a video or something, he would write me. I heard you said this. I saw you said that. I said let me go to a new space because I need
right.
to think and breathe. Because you tried to get down on me overseas and I had to fight you. And so but I'm coming back to YouTube. Actually, I miss it a little bit because it's a little bit more focused. Whereas where TikTok is, I can be all over the place. Sometimes I want to be a little bit more linear. But I'm always Dr. Wanda Evans Bluer. I no longer you shouldn't come to this. And her mother died at 111. She was still up washing clothes and walking around and everything. To natural medicine and herbs and barks and berries and fruits and organic and free roaming goats, free roaming chicken, free roaming cow. Even a pig. I don't particularly like their pig. I don't eat pork anyway, but when I have here the cut of meat, you don't really find pork chops and pork steaks and ham and bacon. They don't cut the way they cut the pork is not particularly appealing. But maybe somebody can go to a butcher and say, "No, I want you to cut mine like this." But Africans in general are low pork eaters. But oh, Wanda, Dr. Wanda Evans Brewer, and then I'm Wanderland's Naturals.
It has been a pleasure having you on here. Um, I
Thank
mean,
you.
you are definitely one in a million, and I do hope that you start the YouTube back. I think a lot of people need to hear you. Definitely, I get a vibe that there's a calling for women to put them on, not on guard but aware of what's going on and what to look forward to or look out for when coming to the continent and looking for love, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of single black females moving over there, and they would, if they're not looking, they may just hope that something happens. And then I know there are some
Ain't
that
no
are.
listen. Ain't no hope. You gonna get 4 proposals in 1 week. Ain't no hope. Ain't no hope. I listen. I don't care if you look like Grizzly Adams. You gonna get you a man. Go look at some of the white women that they're marrying. These white women are vampires. They're old. They're wrinkled. They it's all and listen, there's some beautiful looking white women.
Uh,
There's some beautiful looking white women, okay? And that's not what they're going off. A lot of them going off with, and I tell them, I say, do you understand in their community, their own men don't mess with them? Their own men. They don't mess with these. These are I just saw one. It was a Roseanne Barr looking type woman. Looked like she drink beer, roll dice at the same time. They marrying them, and the family comes out and they supporting it. They all smiling because they want that green card. They want to travel out. Listen, and the women have to know 95% of these men want to leave Ghana. They want to travel out to the UK, to Canada, to the US, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what they want to do. And I don't care what they tell you. Mine lied to me. I'm a proud Ghanaian. If I had something going, I would stay, blah, blah, blah. That man, you have a green card policy. Are you taking someone back? Are you willing to invest that way? Or are you coming this way? Because it ain't no sense being married to somebody that's you 6,000 miles away from. The phone gets boring. And sexting, I guess, is interesting, but it ain't that damn interesting. So you got to figure out what you're doing. But no, I don't care. You can bring the ugliest chick. Go back through your yearbook, find the ugliest girl, and bring her here. She'll be married in a week. She'll be married in a week.
I've seen so many
And she'll
videos.
believe that they love, and she will believe that they're in love. She'll argue you to the ground. He do love me. He in love. He said and there's nothing we can do about it. It's not now that part we can't do nothing about. We have to do it before they come. We don't drink the Kool-Aid because they work as a team. The poverty is on steroids. So the mama gonna go along with it, the daddy, everybody, because you're gonna feel love. I feel love, everybody good to me. But yeah, the shit, a big old ATM just fell in the community. Damn.
Say take teamwork to make the dream work, huh?
It take teamwork to make the dream work. And then it literally do. And when I saw there was a black woman came here. She had to be at least 400.
Mm,
And well, where you have to pay for the two seats.
right,
Because
yeah.
it's one thing to be there's and you should have read the comments. See, we was looking at her. The guy went to see her. He was tall, dark, handsome, nice butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying? He had all that we looking for. And he went to her and he hugged her and he kissed her and he did all this and she was blushing and the comments was, "We're proud of you. You're on your way to America now. Good job, brother. Wow, you really sit. You should have saw and I did a TikTok about it. I took screenshotted the comments to show them that girl did not know this is what was being said as they looked at them two meet up because they all knew what it was. They knew what it was. They knew it was not true love. Meets up with
So this has got to be
that's how they do.
something you see all the time, though.
I say it all the time. Listen, mine loved me, but he was faking with me too.
Mm,
He loved me. I mean, like, listen. We're women. You a man, okay? We're women, okay? Y'all want access to a woman's body, so yeah, I'm not hard on the eyes. It wasn't that, but the ultimate wasn't. Oh, I
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
I'm pretty sure you confused him. He didn't know what to do.
a poor thing. And I do give him, brother, you got used. Look who's still driving. He been gone 2 years. Look who in this country thriving. They half the people don't even remember the man's name. How do you receive a woman and she is living in the country thriving? How did this woman end up on Pan African television for a month? Yeah, you can't write this stuff because I am who I said I was. Sir, you wasn't who you said you was. Now the women would get. You got to tell them, Paul. They're all going to get marriage proposals,
Mm.
all of them, and they'll get them from young. I had a guy just the other day. This was like maybe 2 months ago. I met him when I was collecting some casters. No, I had to give him the business. This ain't that.
Mm.
I'm Dr. Wanda. And he got embarrassed. But see, even him, and he had to be like maybe 22, 23. I'm 57 years old. I don't have a problem with older and younger relationships, but damn, you just started, you just got, milk from behind you. I don't want you. But to disrespect me, they cannot talk to an elder like that. There's no elder in this village. I'm Dr. Wanda. He knew.
Right. Mhm. Oh no, oh Lord, a different type of cotton field. Um, I definitely want to get you on earlier. Um, so I'm gonna be inboxing you anyway. I definitely appreciate your time, the information that you have given. I mean, you dropped some real gold nuggets. So before we get off, do you have any final words or anything you want to say to the people or people
I got to do
moving?
what?
Do you have any final words to people that want to move to Ghana or to the continent?
Do not come if you're not a pioneer. If you don't see yourself as a pioneer, you don't need to come here. And you go visit the definition of what it means to be a pioneer. When the blacks got tired of the level of racism in the South and they began to move north, a lot of things happened to the Northerners that could have pushed them back to the South, but they withstood it. Do you understand? A different type of racism, redlining, um, difficulties finding employment, having people. And so you have to decide if you come in here because this is Puerto Vallarta for you, the love boat. If that's the love boat, the love plane, I don't suggest it. It's way too hard for that. It's way too hard for that. And when you get in trouble, you're not going to have the level of infrastructure, the support from people, from family, community, because this is not your family and this is not your community. You're building a new life here. So if they want to do that, then that's it. That's the only thing I can tell them. But anybody's welcome to come and see. I think you need to visit the motherland, whether it's Ghana or someplace else. I suggest because Ghana is overrated because it got marketed well.
Mhm.
They said you go visit just to have something to gauge. But everybody run here. I be looking at the. I got my tickets for December. Who else going in December? I'm like, y'all coming here in December? What you getting ready to do? Go see that shitty castle? What you getting ready to do? And after you see that, what? Because the tickets are extra high. They close to $2,000, 1,500, $2,000. When I first came, they were like 8 round trip. In other nations, it's less. Continent is made up of 54 sovereign nations. But you can also go east. You can also check out other. Just don't feel like Ghana, 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 Ghana. You don't have to feel like that. You actually can stretch your legs someplace else and be very welcomed, because they're not getting no action and the stuff would be less expensive and stuff like that. It's just something to consider.
Okay. Wow. Once again, I thank you. And
Yeah.
the next time we come on, we can go ahead and
Welcome.
do your products and have it, go through that.
Okay,
And
I would love to.
so, good night to you. Thank you for staying up. Uh, you done provided some humor, some real hard knock facts. So I definitely appreciate
I heard somebody wrote down here. This is a straight comedy show. A lot of people don't know. The doc you grew up in the black community and you
you. Gotta have one.
point it just as funny. Anyway,
Man.
thank you all. Thank you for receiving me well. Okay. Good night.